everyone, this is the Trader Investor. In this video I want to talk about Bitcoin and Ethereum. On the Bitcoin front, we've been seeing some weakness, continued weakness. Have we reached the bottom? There's a lot of discussion that Bitcoin could be heading back to 20,000. If you look at the daily chart, where we really took off from that 20,000 area and started heading north. This is where we want to take a look at, right? We were at 20,000 back in 2017. We broke out of that, and now a lot of times when we're breaking out of those areas, it is possible to come back and test them. You break out of a consolidation area like here, and price comes back and tests it. This was quick, right? Break out of this, come back and test it, and continue. That's a lot of possibility. And so when you're looking at that, is this high that we broke out of, from 2017, and then the high that we broke out of shortly after that in 2019 have not really been tested once we broke out of those zones. So the second line, we broke out of it, we have not really tested it, and we continue to move up. The 20,000, we have not tested it yet. When we broke out of 40,000 area, we tested it. And so now it is very, very possible that Bitcoin is going to come back, at least test the 20,000 area, if not down below the 14,000 area. This would be fantastic buying opportunities. I'm actually not scared for my positions because I'm just going to keep adding as price goes down. This is how I want you to look at opportunities. Of course, if fundamentally things change and you see that crypto is completely collapsing and is going to zero, it's a different story. But I'm a strong believer that crypto is here to stay. Blockchain is here to stay. Therefore, for me, it's a chance of accumulating positions. So let's look at the 4-hour chart to make it easier to see what is happening. And as we look at the 4-hour chart, and I want to look at these charts in terms of Wyckoff accumulation or distribution. So we've had a strong sell-off back in May, and we stayed in a range since then. As we're staying in a range, and when you look at the Wyckoff phases in accumulation or distribution, you have the selling climax, automatic rally, and then price has started to consolidate from there. And it creates a base where you will have an area of terminal shakeout, meaning it will pretend it wants to keep going down, but then immediately reverse and wipe out all the short positions. And so when you're looking at that, then is in June, right, and towards the end of June, we had a terminal shakeout, what appears to be a terminal shakeout, but then we didn't really make a good E1 because it didn't keep pushing up. So we are back down again below this E1. Where I mark this E1, we're back below it. So this cannot be E1. So I'm going to, actually I don't want to delete it. I want to have it maybe here. It's a maybe. Because it's a maybe, I'll just put a question mark. I like to leave these here because they kind of give me a reminder of what I've thought about in the past. Could this be an E1, right? Could this be my terminal shakeout? This, I mean, we didn't go lower than this, but on a closed basis, we're closing below these lines. So could this be terminal shakeout. As a reminder, I just leave them there, and we only get that confirmation hindsight, right? Once price, has tested this and it does this, right? It continues to push up. This is when we have the confirmation, but until then, we just kind of wait and see. That's why the best entry is not E1 or E2 is the break of this. The best entry is the test of these highs, right? Once we jump the creek, that's the best, the safest entry. Shouldn't say the best entry, the safest entry. So as we're looking at that, another area of concern that I have is within the last few weeks, we have been making lower highs. We've been trending lower and lower and lower. Lower highs and lower lows. Lower highs and lower lows. So right now, we hit that trend line and we are staying near that trend line but below it. So right now, all the indication says is we are going to go back this way. But here's things to consider. We touched it, we immediately went down. We touched it, we immediately went down. Immediately meaning in a few bars, right? Very close to it, immediately went down. Touched it, immediately went down. This time we touched it yesterday and we're staying near it today. So I want to see, is today the day where we're going to do this and break out, or is it going to be one of those retouch it again and break down? That's a possibility. Now, when you want to look at a breakout entry, you don't want to do boom, boom out, and just because it breaks it out, because a lot of times those are those fake breakouts. This is even a trend line is an area of manipulation. So you don't want to be manipulated out, where they fake you out, they fake the shorts, they do one more of this, and then boom, take out everybody. Everybody's stop losses are taken care of. You don't want that to happen. So you want to get a good confirmation. So as you're having it down, you want to break out, test it, and then resume, right? Maybe enter here or even here if you want to be a little bit more aggressive. This is how I want to see it set up before we have strong entries. And the other thing on a trend line break, what you want to see really is, I'm going to do it for you here. What you want to see is, as price is testing these values, right? And test, comes down, test, comes down, test, comes down, and then the next time you want it to kind of stair step towards the trend line, stair step towards the trend line, and make higher and higher lows, higher and higher lows. You get more confirmation that this is going to be a good breakout. If you're getting one of these where the move is really significant, just keeps moving straight up, not making higher highs and higher lows, but just shooting up, then it's most likely that it's going to come back down. But as price is stair stepping closer and closer, and especially if it stays here for a while, like this, then when it breaks out, it's going to break out strong. This is just an added bonus on how I want you to take a look at breakouts, and so you don't enter them too quickly. But for now, Bitcoin is having lower highs, lower highs, lower highs. Therefore, I want to make sure that this trend line is broken before we take any positions. And if we look at Ethereum, similar thing is happening. Similar, the reason why I say similar is because this trend line is broken. This trend line is broken. So both of these trend lines are broken. So Ethereum seems to be a little bit stronger for now, but still, what I'm not seeing, we have not cleared this area. Because we have not cleared this area, we're not out of the woods. This area, we have not really cleared it. We're seeing some manipulation, we have not cleared it. So I want to see break above, test it, and resume, right? Test these highs and continue to resume. But we have headwind. We have headwind. We have headwind. Keep this in mind, right? Keep this in mind because we're in a distribution or accumulation phase. So keep this in mind as you position yourself for the next level. And so I wanted really to take the 4-hour view of both Ethereum and Bitcoin and show you where we're possibly heading. Are we in accumulation? Are we in distribution? Yet to be seen. But there's still room, a lot of room. Actually, let's go to the daily on this one too. There's still a lot of room because when we broke out of these highs of 2018, when we broke out, we immediately tested it. When we broke out of this area, we immediately tested it. So in Ethereum, these big breakout areas have been tested. Even we've come back to test those highs recently, not quite that low, but we've still come back to test those highs of 2018. So the low here, 17, so we still have a little bit to go. I'm not saying we're going to go there because for all practical purposes in Ethereum, this has been taken care of. We broke out, immediately closed it, broke out again, immediately closed it. We broke out of these highs, closed it. So from that perspective, we're good. But when we're looking at the accumulation distribution phase, I want to see a strong sign that we are out of the consolidation area and we're going to resume the price up. This is what I'm seeing with Bitcoin and Ethereum. Right now, all signs are saying we're going to head down lower. Bitcoin leads the way. If Bitcoin wants to go for 20,000, Ethereum is going to follow it down. Not because technically there's some highs that it needs to test that is already tested in Ethereum, but as Bitcoin is showing weakness, everybody's going to dump their crypto, which is great for me because I want to add to my Ethereum, I want to add to my Bitcoin, I want to add to my Litecoin, XRP, XLM. I just want to keep adding to my positions because I'm a long-term bull. Short-term cautious, long-term bull, meaning I'm going to keep adding positions. So that's how I'm looking at the crypto market. All right, everyone, take care for now, and I'll see you in the next video.